guys, this is Jeff from Hubie's Garage, and just got some things in the mail, some boxes from Summit, so thought I'd go through an unboxing with you. These parts were ordered for the 55-210 Del Rey, the gasser build that we got coming up, and had some issues with trying to order this stuff, but we'll see if they did the order right. Let's see. Alright, this should be the Coil Springs. The box came in, it was a little beat up, but you know, considering there's coil springs in here, it's not too far out of the question to see that this stuff would get beat up in transit. So anyway, thank you for your order. Alright, I got the Summit stickers. Got the receipt, what they bled me for, and another catalog, more like a flyer. Alright, so this is the wheel cylinders that I ordered. Raybestos. And I've been having some problems with some of the components with the Tri-5s. Been wanting to make sure that I don't end up with something, especially on the brakes with the cars. Just having something in the brake system that's made from overseas. I had a problem before where I had a past order where I ordered wheel cylinders, and I got front wheel cylinders, and they were from Raybestos, and one wheel cylinder, the driver wheel cylinder, was from a plant that was made in USA, and the right wheel cylinder, passenger side, was from a plant that was made in China. So especially on the front like that, I'm just not interested in having mismatched you know, wheel cylinders on the front like that. Not interested in that. I just you know, I know they're built to a certain spec, but just with metallurgies and different countries of origin, different plants, you just don't know if one's going to stop quicker than the other. And so I kind of called Summit and voiced my opinion about that, and sure enough, they told me that Raybestos does have a plant in, I believe it was Illinois, could be Iowa, Illinois, I'm pretty sure. And in the pictures are these wheel cylinders. The wheel cylinders actually said made in USA on them. So they told me that if there was an issue where they didn't say made in USA, that I could send them back as not as advertised. And sure enough, I got two boxes here, and both of them just happen to say made in China. So I think I'm going to exercise my rights to send this back as not as advertised. It does not have the imprint made in China or made in USA on the wheel cylinder. So I'm going to send these back. I'm just not interested in having an overseas product that is not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for on a $50,000 Tri-5 Chevy to be relying on stopping my car. Same deal here. There is not a made in USA imprint on the wheel cylinder housing. Just nothing but a box, both of them, that state made in China. So we'll set those aside. They're going back. All right. So here's something. I had a couple choices on these coil springs, and there's something right there that I'm happy to see. That I'm sure you could see that. Gives me a little bit more comfort knowing that I've got something that's got a decent wine voucher for $100. I may need some wine after seeing all this made in China crap written all over these boxes. It's a real problem because a lot of these companies outsource, and they've got multiple factories or plants that are building this stuff. I know I was trying to find out about Moog, and Moog has over 16 different countries of origin for their plants. So what I did for that, you'll see in a minute, was I relied on buying the more expensive Moog components, and I'm hoping that'll resolve the issue. We'll see when we open up the second box. All right, these coil springs look beautiful. They, I believe, are Moog. I'm not positive. They don't have a name on them at all, but they, oh wait, yeah, they are. They're Moog coil springs. So yeah, I did stick with the Moog 656s, which there was another spring that had 2 letters and a number, and then there was one that just had a number only. The one that was the number only was for the 6-cylinder, primarily a power glide car, because ironically that stove bolt 6 and that power glide is the heaviest engine transmission combination in the 55s. And if you went with the other one, that I believe it was a CS, I don't know, 11 something. I'll put it in the, I'll put a note in there. You'll see it when I edit the video. But that one was a lighter spring. The height wasn't quite the same. The only negativity that I heard on these 6-cylinder springs were that the springs didn't end up lining up with the spring pockets on the A-arms, because this gasser is going to get an original A-arm suspension to it. I'm making a period correct gasser. It's a clone of my dad's car, a 55 Chevy D-gas car that he ran at Lions drag strip, and the name of the car was Thunder Road. So I'm gonna put it back exactly the way that we have it in the 15 photos that we have of it. And but anyway, these coil springs look beautiful. They're supposed to ride an inch taller, which is something that I'm interested in doing, because in all the pictures it looked like it was just a little bit higher than a stock height in the pictures of the car. So this will give me that extra inch. They'll probably be a little bit stiffer, and if for some reason they just absolutely do not work, I'll pull them out and then I'll use them on the 6-cylinder 4-door, the 210 4-door that we just picked up that's out in Montana. So that's kind of one of the nice things about having all these 55s. You never really have any issues with parts. You know, you order parts and you got too many, you got spares for the other cars. So anyway, these things, they look beautiful. They look like they're almost like a plastic coating or like a real heavy powder coating. So I got to give it to Moog for doing a great job with these things. They're a little bit more expensive. I want to say 40 or 50 bucks more than the V8 spring. But I think based on me trying to be absolutely period correct with the car, these are the springs I wanted to do. So, all right. Well, that's a 50-50. So we'll make sure these things go back. But the springs I like. Okay, let's crack open the next box. Now, this is the ball joints and all the other parts that I ordered for the front suspension to put the car, restore the suspension on the car. Same deal with this. I did a lot of research trying to find made in USA parts. Was pretty sure that the higher end, more expensive Moog parts were the ones that were made in USA. So we'll take a look at that. Yep, definitely paid the higher prices, but you know, it's worth it, because I don't, I've seen guys run the Chinese ball joints, and I've seen them out, even with their YouTube channels, where they're out on the road, on the side of the road with the A-arms sitting in the dirt and the tow truck hooking them up. So I'm not interested in that. I want to do it right. You know, I got this car apart. I want to make sure that I don't have to go through it and keep putting parts in it. So let's see what we got here. All right, made in USA. So this is one of the tie rod ends, and it comes with the boot, comes with a Zerk fitting, comes with the castle nut. This is the kind of quality that I want to see. Anything as far as these tie rods that have a Zerk fitting, that's some of the better quality stuff, because there actually are some of these that don't have Zerk fittings, believe it or not. Okay, here's another one. I believe these are the inner tie rods. I believe they're the inner tie rods. This is another one that says Made in USA, and it looks like the same part, same kind of packaging, same boot. Obviously one's a right thread, one's a left thread, and real happy with this too. So here's another one that's a keeper. All right, let's see, you got another Summit sticker. Let's see, what else? All right, this has got to be a ball joint, and sticker on the outside says Made in USA. Some of this stuff you do have to be careful of, because they do actually have foreign-made parts, and they send the foreign-made parts, and then they package the parts in USA so that they could actually say Made in USA, or packaged in USA is what they typically do. But this has the hardware. It's got castle nuts, it's got Zerk fittings, it's got some cotter pins, and this looks like another good quality ball joint. Haven't used the Moogs before. I mean, the last time I did a front suspension, TRW was still around, and that was a great company. I never had any problems with TRW. And we also got the rubber boots. So, all right, so this is another keeper. We'll throw this in the keeper pile. And let's see. Let's move on. All right, I'm sure that the other ball joint is the same. Made in USA. Pop it open just to make sure. It's like the same kind of packaging, same hardware, same rubber boot, and parts to go with it. Yep. So this is another keeper. Moog seems like the one, like I say right now, that is probably the company that we could all go with if you're looking for a good quality part. You know, if you're trying to do things on the cheap, my whole attitude with that is you get what you pay for. You know, the Fram filter guy, you know, you can pay me now or pay me later. And I don't want to have to take this stuff apart multiple times. You know, when you take it apart and do the car right, you know, you put it back together, it's time to drive it and enjoy it, not continually take it apart for stupid stuff just because you want to use cheap parts. It's time's money, at least to me anyway, and I'd rather have my time going out and having fun instead of having to tear stuff apart and redo it over and over and over again. That's just you know, the definition of insanity as far as I'm concerned. So all right, so these should be the outer. Oh, wait a minute. No, let's see. Oh, these are the lower ball joints, and another Made in USA. So cheaper is not always better, especially in the case of Moog. So yeah, this is a nice nice ball joint. Got the brass inserts for the bowl holes. It's got the Zerk fittings. Everything's nicely greased from the factory. It's got all the components. Got the 4 bolts to mount it to the lower A-arm. It's got the Zerks and all the hardware to bolt it to the A-arm. This is a good product. Another Made in USA. I'm real happy with that. We'll add this one to the keeper pile. Should have got a rag to wipe this stuff. Oh, another $100 wine voucher. Well, I won't need to drink as much wine with this one, because this one's this one's a much better haul, or a much better box. Been much happier with this one. This is the other remaining lower ball joint, and it's another Made in USA. So same deal, same as the other one. Factory greased. Got the brass bushings, all the hardware, cotter pin, Zerks, lock washers, nuts, fine thread bolts. nice castle nut, and a grease cover. Now when I was at Danchuck, I did pick up some urethane grease covers that might potentially last a little bit longer, considering they were, I believe, $1 a piece. I just bought out what they had because I've got at least 2 cars that I've got to do front suspensions on. The Gasser here, the Del Rey, and the 4-door that's in Montana. So, all right, so throw another one in the keeper pile. Now these have got to be the outer tie rods, and let's see, made in USA. There we go. So another Moog product, and there we go. It's another good quality, another Moog quality part. It's got the boot, and it does have the Zerk fitting. So, all right, not sure which one this is, but we'll look it up by the number, make sure that we get it on the right side, so that when the and this one comes with hardware too. Primarily just a castle nut, Zerk fitting, and a cotter pin. So, but yeah, we'll make sure we get everything on the right side so that when this thing goes to the alignment shop, they'll be able to turn it the right way and get the right setting. So, all right. And here's the final tie rod end. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Flip the knife open. And same deal. Castle nut, cotter pin, Zerk fitting, and another beautifully made part. Everything moves. Got the Zerk fitting. One of these has left-handed threads, one has right-handed threads, but another one that's a keeper. So, all right, guys, that's what we got for the Del Rey. So hopefully we'll have some content on the Del Rey. We've got some things coming up with it pretty soon, and save one of these boxes for my returns to Summit, and I'll send it back with the disclaimer that it was not as advertised, because that's actually what the salesman on the phone, when I called him to order these parts, they said that this picture shows made in USA, and if you get something other than what it states, that you can send it back based on not as advertised. So that was the key to get around making sure that you get the parts from the right plant. I don't know if I send these 2 items back, if they're just going to turn around and send me more stuff that's made overseas, or if they'll actually be able to communicate with the guy on the floor who's pulling the parts off the shelf to only pull made in USA parts off, or don't fill the order, because that's about where I'm at right now. So hopefully we'll get this thing sorted out. But anyway, I appreciate you following along, and hopefully you learned a little bit about the Tri-5 suspension, as far as what kind of components are out there. If you like what you see, like the video, and really appreciate the subscription, the sub, and hope you guys have a great evening. Take care.